All right, we're gonna do a quick update here on the my Savage Impulse Predator. And as far as like configuration goes, not a lot has changed since the last time I showed this off. Um, Mostly because I've been happy with all of it. Uh, take a look at a couple of things there. So of course I have the video about the Boyd's AT1 stock, the ambidextrous thumbhole stock. Really enjoyed that. It's been great. I like the the kind of pistol grip here. I put some tape around there, which looks kind of ghetto, but it works nice to give me some extra grip. Also, this here, this kind of foam piece, it's a Hoptic saddle blanket, and I don't think they make one for this particular rifle, but I found one that was close enough. I think it was like the Luth AR, one of those, made for one of those stocks, AR stock, and I put it on here, and I cut it out to fit perfectly, but really like that. I have those on a number of my rifles. What else? Oh, still have the same forend configuration here. So pop the bipod off. The pick rail, and then on there I have the QD sling adapter, and then the Salmon River Solutions Arca rail here. So I most of the time, well, almost all the time really, I'll have my bipod on here, and I have it on this quick detach thing that slides on and off the rail, mostly so I can take it on and off in the field, but I've found that I don't really need to, because when this is folded up and I have the tripod clamped in kind of the back half of this this Arca rail, it doesn't really interfere with I'm not hitting a tripod leg with the front of this thing, so I haven't really had to take it off. And for the most part, I just have it on there so that when I'm setting up my tripod or taking it down, I have somewhere to put my rifle so it's standing up out of the dirt and snow and whatever. But there was one time that I was walking around out in the field and did some scanning with my thermal scanner, and there was a coyote out there, and I went down prone on my bipod and was able to shoot him from there, because I didn't really have time, or I didn't think I had time anyway, to get my tripod back out of my pack. So that whole setup has been good. I really like it. One thing I'll address, there was the first part of my series when I rebarreled to the 22 Creedmoor. I had an issue where the threads on the barrel shank weren't long enough. They didn't come this way far enough, so I couldn't get it head spaced right with the barrel nut on there. And what I ended up doing is getting a die to put more threads on this. And probably not the ideal way to do it, but I'll tell you, it worked. It worked just fine. It was only a few more thousandths that I had to take it, so it's not like it was a huge deal. It's not like I threaded the whole shank that way. And it's been great. I've rechecked headspace a number of times. It's perfect. I've had no issues. This barrel shoots absolutely lights out. So that's all been fine. What else? Oh yeah, they also had problems for a bit there with light primer strikes, where I was getting failure to fire. And that I'm pretty confident now I can say has been resolved. A couple of things that I did, and I don't know which one of these things actually resolved it, or the combination of the two, but either way, what I did is, you can take the shroud part off, and you can take the bolt head off, and you can kind of get at more of this bolt. I wasn't able to figure out how to take it completely apart, and I contacted Savage, and they don't really want you to be taking this apart, so they wouldn't really tell me how to do it either. So all I did was Sprayed some really good lube down this thing and let it kind of drip all the way down. And then, high pressure air hose, blew it all out. So I wasn't leaving a whole bunch of it in there for, dust and stuff to collect too, but still wanted to be lubed good. And there was some crap that kind of blew out of there with it, but I did that. And the other big thing was I was shooting CCI BR4 primer, which is bench rest primer. It's got a little harder, thicker cup. I switched to CCI 400s. That's kind of your standard small rifle primer. It's got a thinner, softer cup, so it doesn't take quite as much energy from the firing pin to ignite it. And since I did those two things, let's see, I was just counting this up. I've shot like 260 rounds out of this thing since then, and have not had a single failure. Oh, right, and it's not just that I've shot 260 some rounds. I've used this as my coyote hunting rig over the winter, and in North Dakota it gets quite cold. I think I've shot 57 coyotes this winter, and most of the time it's below freezing when we're out. One night it was, I think, 20 below zero, and I ended up shooting a double that night. Again, 0 failures from the 400s and my, cleanish bolt. So that's all been resolved as far as I'm concerned. Overall, it's just been a really great platform. Of course, I changed out the stock, mostly just because I wanted more of a pistol grip to make it easier to run off of a tripod, because I am using this, pretty much exclusively as a night hunting coyote rifle, and it's been excellent in that role. The trigger's been good. The bolt is nice and smooth. It's fast. It's fast to run the bolt. Ejection is excellent. It doesn't suffer your standard Savage ejection problems. It because of the fixed mechanical ejector in there, it'll launch brass a long ways depending on how fast you run the bolt, which is great for ejection. The only problem is it can make your brass a little bit hard to find out there in the field. It uses AICS pattern magazines like this 10 rounder from MDT, which have been great. That was an excellent choice by Savage. And overall, I bought this thing as just kind of, I don't want to say gimmick, but, more, I was just intrigued by the idea of the straight pull, and then, obviously the potential barrel quick change ability, and those types of things. And of course, also because I'm a lefty, being able to run it left-handed. If it wasn't for being able to swap that bolt handle around, I wouldn't own it. But it's been really cool in a lot of ways, and it's actually turned out to be everything that I didn't even know that I needed in a coyote rifle. So it's been good. I would, not hesitate to recommend a Savage Impulse Predator to really anyone else. So there you go.